ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्य अन्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ. Thank you all for logging in on time. Sorry about this delay. We had a Pradosha Puja and it took some time. And also there were visitors who wanted to talk about Swamiji. So we are here for this another session of Bhagavad Gita online, which was held very successfully in person at the Hindu temple of Allentown. And for the last more than a year now, our Deepak Da was sending out emails appreciating. This session has been going on for more than a year now, and we are in the fourth chapter. And in the fourth chapter, we have seen a very popular shloka. What was that? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is giving the assurance. We take it as a shloka for assurance that whenever there is a hani, whenever there is a danger for dharma, for righteousness, and when there is a abundance of danger, danger for dharma, and danger itself is growing. If there is an abundance of danger, adharma, then Bhagavan, those are the times when Bhagavan would come. Because in this fourth chapter, it is initially talking about the vamsha of how this knowledge has been transferred from teacher to student, and Bhagavan being the Adi Guru, first teacher, right? And that Bhagavan is the same Bhagavan, Sri Krishna in front of Arjuna. So Bhagavan has to make the case by saying that I have come here again and again and again several times, and each time I come for this reason. I mean, I come when this is what is the case, right? That the when part for the question, when would you come? That question has been answered by the yada yada hi dharmasya shloka, right? So then what's remaining? The remaining part is the why part. What would you do once you come, Bhagavan? What is your avatara prayojanam? What is the purpose? That purpose you may think dharma for the protection of dharma. You might have taken it from the last verse, but very specifically, who are the beneficiaries, right? Because you can say that Bhagavan himself is a krita kritya, means there's nothing remaining for Bhagavan to accomplish. Jnanis also, they are also krita kritya. Jnanis have atmatvena, atmabhavena. They see Bhagavan as non-separate from themselves, right? So that way, Jnani is also krita kritya. He is also a person who has accomplished what needs to be accomplished. When this being the case, the question is, for who? For what purpose have you come, Bhagavan? So that prayojanam is being told in the next shloka. Okay. So because Bhagavan, his birth is very special, right? We saw that his birth is because of Maya. Because of Maya which is in his Vasha. Because of the Maya, the Shakti, the power which is in his total control. Ourselves, our birth is because of avidya, right? Our birth is because of avidya. Bhagavan's birth is because of Maya. Our birth is because of Kama and karma, because of our punya papa, that is karma, and kamas are desires. So Bhagavan, Ishvara is very kind. He doesn't want us to have unfulfilled desires. So as long as we have desires, as long as we have some papa punya in our bank, Ishvara keeps leasing us this body to accomplish all those desires. So our birth is totally based on avidya, ignorance, kama, desires, and karma, also good deeds and bad deeds. Depending on that, we are driven. Our birth is driven by that. We don't have any control, any say over that. As long as our ignorance continues, we don't have any say over that. Bhagavan's birth is not like that. It's very special, right? So why at all this special birth? That is being told in this shloka. For who does Bhagavan take avatara? That is being told in this shloka, which is shloka number 8, which is also very popular. You must have heard this several times. Repeat after me. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Sadhunam. So for who is Bhagavan has come down as an avatar? For the sake of the sadhus. Who are the sadhus? Sanmarga, the one who wants to follow righteousness, one who are given to righteousness, one who are given to right deeds. And we just don't say right deeds, we also say where you find those deeds in the Shastra. Shastrokta karma. In the scriptures, the way to conduct in a given situation might be given in the form of a story in the Purana or in the form of Manusmriti, all the like a constitution. So wherever it is given, this sadhu takes the help of that knowledge and he tries to conduct themselves in the most appropriate way. For that sadhu, who are always looking for doing only punya karma, who are looking to only do the meritorious actions, for those sadhu, then Vaidika karma. So if you're familiar with this word, those sadhus were given to Vaidika karma. When I say Vaidika karma, you should not take it as something which is antique, which is irrelevant. No, don't take like that. Why? I'm saying Vaidika karma just to help you, because I can just say right karma, I can just say good deeds, I can just say righteous actions, and I can leave it like that for your imagination or for your own interpretation. That you have been doing anyway. So now you have to know what is the source. Whether we take help of the source is a different thing, and how we take help of the source. Everyone is taking help of the source. Vaidika karma, the Veda, everyone is taking refuge. When some Atithi comes to your home, when there is a guest, you're doing the Atithi Satkara. You honoring the guest is a Vedokta karma. How? Because Atithi Devo Bhava, right? Acharya Devo Bhava. So we are in some way or the other following Veda. So that is why we have to always, when we say righteous actions, we have to back it up by saying Veda Ukta Karma, Vedokta Karma, as enjoined in the scriptures. So then you know the source. You can tap the source in your own way, at your own leisure, with your own teacher, right? So once you know the source, then you can know how to go about it, right? So this is the sadhus. Paritranaya, for protecting the sadhus. Paritranaya. And sadhunam, and then vinashaya. So for the protecting the sadhus. Rakshanartham. See, paritrana word is not very familiar. Trana. Trananatha. the word you might have heard. Thrana is the protector. Natha, the leader who protects. So here Bhagavan, for the sake of all-round protection. Paritra, pari means, in all possible means. As you know, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, what all the means he takes to protect, right? So that is the paritrana, protecting in all possible ways. For that reason, the unimaginable ways. Why? Because Bhagavan, who can imagine Bhagavan to come down as a human being, right? Even that is also out of our imagination. And Bhagavan does that. So he takes all means to protect the sadhus. All the sadhus don't only think sannyasis or only those brahmacharis. It is for all that satkarma sadhnoti. Paran karma sadhnoti. One who is helping others, one who has the service-mindedness, one who wants to always do good. That is the sadhu, right? So that is all of us who are trying to lead that life. For our protection, Bhagavan comes. Then dushkrutam vinashaya. The word shloka, what does it say? Dushkrutam vinashaya. For the vinasha, for the destruction, for the destruction. What destruction of what? Don't worry, destruction of dushkritan, for the one who follow adharma. Not able to follow dharma is one thing, but consciously, knowingly, willingly, with the own violation, following adharma and philosophizing why someone should follow adharma, those are the asuras, rakshasas, demons. And for the destruction, it's not possible by us. We can't go about correcting we cannot go about changing people. We cannot even change ourselves. What to talk about someone else, right? So Bhagavan has to take the role also of the one who can convert or destroy the adharmis also. Then dharma samstapa. Then the third one, you see. Number 2 is dushkrutanam vinashaya. Third, dharma samstapa narthaya. Samstapa narthaya. Dharma sanstapana arthaya. Like that you should spell. Dharma sanstapana arthaya. For the sake of protecting this Vaidika dharma. Vaidika dharma, we saw, is what? Is a source for all the sadhu karma, right? So that source has to be protected. Protected not in terms of some books or some archives online and all that. Protecting in terms of protecting dharma by protecting the dharmi. That's what Pujya Swamiji used to say. Protecting dharma by protecting dharmi. That kind of a protection. So that's Bhagavan's job. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, for establishment. So we know when people come to this world, they know over time, they know where to look for right deeds, where to look for the source for the right deeds. So that way, all the institutions which protect dharma, Bhagavan protects those also. And when does he do that? Yuge yuge, agam sambhavami, prati yuge. Every yuga Bhagavan comes. What is a yuga? In our Hindu timeline, what we have done, we have split the time into 4 yugas. The entire span of time, starting from time 0, has been split into 4. It's called, the entire time span is called kalpa, one kalpa. And one kalpa is split into 4 yugas, right? What are the 4 yugas? Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, then Treta Yuga, then Kali Yuga, right? Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali Yuga, right? So those are the yugas. And these yugas, Bhagavan, every yuga he comes. And he will take as many forms as possible within the same yuga also, right? We know Bhagavan Sri Krishna is there during Mahabharata. Parashurama, Bhagavan's avatara, is also an incarnation of Bhagavan, incarnation of the Almighty. Parashurama was also there. So many avatars. Kapila Maharishi was there. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna was here, Kapila Maharishi was also there. So likewise, Bhagavan, in the same yuga, he can take several avatars. That is our Bhagavan. He comes down for us. Sambhavami. All right? So, this is what is the translation. Now let us also look at the word translation here. For the protection of those who are committed to dharma and the destruction or conversion of those who follow adharma, and for the establishment of dharma, I come into being in every yuga. This is Bhagavan's word. So now, what is this? Let us see what Shankara Bhashyam says. Quickly, we'll see. I won't spend too much time here. Okay, so we saw that sadhu karma is shastra vihita karma, and I am saying shastra vihita karma, scripturally enjoined duty is not to scare you, but just to say where we have the source, which we can always tap, right? And dushkritam is papa karinam. Okay, so this in this shloka, Bhagavan is saying three things, right? One is paritranaya sadhunam, and vinashaya dushkritam vinashaya, and then third one also Bhagavan is saying. So this is what this is what is very categorically Bhagavan is saying, that the third one is dharma samsthapanarthaya. Dharma samsthapanarthaya is the categorically Bhagavan is saying dharma samsthapan dharmasya samyak sthapanam tadartam sambhavami. So dharma has to be so well established that it should be unshakable. At least it should last the onslaught of time. At least the dharma should be so established in terms of all the dharmi. How well it has to be established? It has to be established so well, at least for that period of time, at least Bhagavan takes another avatar, right? So that way the institutions and then the people who follow all those dharmas in terms of vihita karma, the enjoined actions and all that has to be, the infrastructure has to be very well provided and protected. So that is also Bhagavan's job, because only when the infrastructure is provided and the world can function. You may think this is all, I'm not saying you, but then people generally think when they talk about dharma samrakshana, all that protection of dharma and all that, they all think that this is, how relevant is that, they ask. They even talk about how much adharma is there. And they talk in all those negative terms. But even in this society today, we need the dharma samrakshana department, right? The judges and the court system, the police system, the police department, and the forces, the military forces. If you imagine a country without all this, imagine America without these three forces: the court system, and the police system, and the military, and the forces, and the armed forces. Imagine India without these three, right? They will all get into pieces, right? In no time, there'll be anarchy, right? In no time, there'll be so much disorder, right? And everybody will be running around to save themselves. Am I right? So that is why Bhagavan has to do the samyak sthapana. Every government, what it does the samyak sthapana of these departments. And Bhagavan comes and he also single-handedly, with even more effectiveness, Bhagavan does the same thing and goes. He knows how to go about that. He may not use all the forces. He may know some small, some small way. Bhagavan, when he does, is called Sulabha Suvrada Siddha, right? One of the names for Bhagavan is Sulabha. So he doesn't have to always use all his might. In a very easy way, Bhagavan can establish dharma. And so this is what, and only when dharma is there, you and I, we would be able to pursue our desires, our abhyudaya, nishreyasa, our desires for security, our desire for some wealth, some security in terms of some wealth, and some stable job, and whatnot, right? And some role as stable role in terms of family. All that is possible once the departments of dharma is taken care of. So that is Bhagavan's work also, right? So having seen this shloka so well, now we will go to the next shloka. And the next shloka is a very important shloka because Bhagavan is again saying, what happens if you know myself, if you know Bhagavan in all the ways which Bhagavan is telling you in the previous few shlokas, and if you know Bhagavan's Janma to be because of Maya, because of the Maya Shakti, because of Ishvara Shakti, and it is free from the bonds of Papa Punya and Avidya. If you know Bhagavan's birth to be like that, it is Mayikam. It is not Avidyakam. It is Mayikam. If you know that, and it is not Vastavam. It is not Vastavam in the sense that people argue, right? Bhagavan Sri Krishna born in a certain time, certain place, and you should see Bhagavan only like that. There are matas. There are matas means there are religions. I won't use the word religion. There are cults which go by that only. Krishna's birth and only this much, only this this time, and they don't want to see Krishna as Ishvara. Even if they want to say Krishna as Ishvara, they will say Krishna is the only Ishvara. Like that they argue. And who is this only Ishvara? Who is born in a certain time, certain place, and that is how they try to argue. And they try to do a badha. They try to create a disturbance to the Sanatana Dharma's Devata Aradhana. So people take Bhagavan to be only so much. And that is a problem. So what is the problem also we'll see. All right. So what is the benefit of knowing Bhagavan's Janma to be Divyam, to be Mayikam, to be Adbhutam, Ascharya Janma, like that, what is a Phala, and also to see that the karma, this karma of protecting the Jagat, the karma of protecting the entire Jagat, that is all Bhagavan's glory. The protection which we are enjoying in terms of the earth spinning in a certain way and being away from the sun at a certain distance, at a certain angle, and days turning to nights, seasons changing, although it's winter, and all these things are the way Bhagavan is all protecting us. So Bhagavan is the ultimate protector. So seeing Bhagavan's karma of Jagat Rakshanam, Jagat Paripalanam as a Divyam, as something which is only Bhagavan can do, and seeing his Janma as Divya, the one who can see that, what is a Phala, that we are going to see in this shloka. All right, so let us do the shloka. This is shloka number 9 of the 4th chapter. Janma karma chame divyam, janma karma chame divyam, evam yo vetti tatvatah, evam yo vetti tatvatah, tyaktva deham punarjanma, tyaktva deham punarjanma, naiti mameti sorjuna, naiti mameti sorjuna. Hey Arjuna, Bhagavan is addressing Arjuna here as Arjuna only, not any special name like he used to, like Bharata and all. My Janma is not Vastavik, it is Mayik. My Janma is not Vastavik. All right? So Bhagavan's Janma is is Alaukikam. And my karma also, I am an Akarta. Bhagavan says, the rope is saying, I don't create the snake. I don't create the streak of water. But you see all in me, in the rope. So rope can say that, right? So my rope is not a karta of all these things. So Bhagavan is also saying, I am Akarta. I am Ajaha. My Janma is Mayik in the sense you can take it as I am Ajaha. Right? That is what has been told before also. Ajo Pisan Avyaya Atma, like that has been told before. Ajaha, I am birthless. I exist forever, but at the same time I am birthless. So that is Bhagavan. So one who knows Bhagavan's Janma to be like this, Arjuna, evam me divyam janma. Divyam is what? Aishwaryam. My birth is Alaukikam. It is unseen before. It is never seen, something never seen before. It is Maya Rupam. It is like an Aindra Jala. What is an Aindra Jala? Magician, when he produces something, he either shows you what is already there and it looks to you as though it was not there, right? Or he shows you something which is not there and to you it looks like it is as though it is there, right? That is Aindra Jala. Bhagavan's birth is like that. And Janma Karma Tattvataha Veti. Tattvataha Veti. Tattvataha Veti means one who knows this tik tik. In Hindi they say tik tik janta hai. One who knows this clearly and as is. One who knows this as is, right? One who knows, for example, the wave is tattva. The tattva of wave is water. The tattvam of ocean is also water. So, in terms of water, the wave is not different from the ocean. That kind of a tattvika jnanam. Tattvika jnanam. That is what is required. One who knows like this regarding Bhagavan's birth and also Bhagavan's work, karma, Bhagavan's kriya, then deham tyaktva, then when he gives up his body, tyaktva deham punarjanma, right? The second line. Tyaktva deham punarjanma. So one who, after he gives up his body, naiti mameti sorjuna. He gives up his body, but he reaches me. He reaches me in the sense he obtains me. He obtains me. He gains me. He gains me in terms of the tattva. Once you know it is all water, you gained the tattva of the ocean and wave as water. So you reach to that point of understanding, right? That is a gaining here. And there's no punarjanma also. There's no rebirth for him. That's what is a word explanation of this shloka. I'm reading some translation here also. The one who knows in reality my divine birth and action in this way, in which way? As Divyam. O Arjuna, giving up the body, that person is not born again. He attains me. Okay, so what does our Shankara Bhashyam say quickly? We'll see that because we may have something interesting coming out of that also. So Bhagavan is Maya Rupam. Janma is Maya Rupam. Bhagavan is in reality Ajanma. Here Janma is Maya Rupam means no mother, na mata, na pita. He is not born like us out of a womb of mother and the womb which is being fertilized by the reproductive organ of the father. It is not, Bhagavan is not born like that. Okay, and sadhu paritranadi. So then, what is his karma? We saw that in the previous verse. Bhagavan's karma is what? Sadhu paritranadi. Then dushkruta vinashadi. Right? All those things. And in all those actions, there's no ahanta. There's no doership. Bhagavan does. Bhagavan, does. And there's no doership, ahanta. There's no doership in terms of this is me, my hands, with my own hands I did this. Now we have that ahanta, right? And then also there's no phalasakti. I lack something, so I did something, so I can gain something. That phalasakti is also not there. There's no akanksha, there's no hankering, there's no longing for a certain result and hence doing something. That kind of a doing is not there from Bhagavan's side. So that is why that kind of, so we have to know Bhagavan in all this, in terms of his karma and janma. He is not any ordinary. He is not like, it is not the same way like, we do. We take ourselves to be the body. We take then this person to be our relative in terms of, flesh and blood. And then we take only these people. These are my people. These are not my people. And then even with our own people, we say, I did so much for you. I didn't see you reciprocate. What is the use of all this? All this, going up and down with our relations and all that, right? So all those things our karmas are all, fraught with all those defects. And Bhagavan's karma is not affected. Just like a rope is not affected. You may see a snake on there, and you may see whatnot on that. The rope is not affected. Bhagavan is unaffected. He plays all the roles, but he is not affected by those roles. You can also do that. And you play several roles as a parent, as children, as teachers, professionals, and whatnot, right? So when you play all those roles, and you can also be a Bhagavan by playing those roles without getting affected in terms of having the ahanta. Ahanta is dehatma buddhi. We're not saying don't have ego. I don't say that. I don't say don't have ego. I don't say because ego is a very vague word. The dehatma buddhi. I say the dehatma buddhi, that this me in terms of this body is performing this action, and this is me. This much only is me, and I need this kind. I'm expecting this kind of result. That is also based on our ignorance, right? So all the ignorance-based actions Bhagavan doesn't have. So we can also, when we know our ignorance, when we know the problem is ignorance, then we can also start playing roles without taking it personally, right? Like an actor who can take the role of a beggar, a rich actor, Hollywood actor or Bollywood actor who has made millions. He can play the role of a beggar in a movie without getting affected by that role, right? So that is how we can play the role also. But we should know, at least in terms of Bhagavan, we should know that. Then it comes to us also. Then we can see ourselves also like that. So this Divyam is alaukikam. Aswabhavikam is, it is not something because of the swabhava, because of the vasana, because of the desires, Bhagavan is not born. Yeah. Okay, so yoveta tattvataha. So tattvataha is tattvena yathavat tyaktva deham vedyaha. So yathavat tattvataha, as I told, you should know exactly, properly, with the help of a teacher and shastra, you should know it clearly. Clarity has to be there. Then you know Bhagavan. Then if you know Bhagavan, then he is the antaryami. What more protection you need in your life, right? That kind of a knowing has to be there when it comes to Ishvara. And then punarjanma, punarutpattim naiti. So knowing is what? How do you know this? How do you know Bhagavan? Bhagavan in terms of like clearly it is a rope. If there is a rope and then it looks like snake, it might have looked like a snake and whatnot for you, but I know it is rope, and then that kind of a clarity. Then there's no going back on that, right? So that kind of a clarity you should know. Then punarjanmaha punarutpattim naiti na prapnoti. So then you're mukta purusha, here and now, which means what? I'll tell you that. Vastav janma sadhu janapari anadi. If you don't know Bhagavan in all these different ways, and if you take Bhagavan to be only this much, and Bhagavan is only born on a certain time, and then he's only so much, and he's talking to Arjuna, right? If Arjuna, if Bhagavan Sri Krishna is taken as a human being, then they only have the Bhagavan himself. They take as human beings. What to talk about everybody else, right? So that kind of a dosha is there, and then which means there is samsara, because ourselves we take as deha. We take Bhagavan also as that deha. I am this deha, Bhagavan is that deha. Arjuna is, if he takes I am this deha and Bhagavan is only, Sri Krishna is only this deha. If you take like that, then my karma, my janma has been there, so Bhagavan also has a janma. I do karmas and Bhagavan also has a karma. I have samsara because of my janma and karma. Then we'll also say Bhagavan also is a samsari. If Bhagavan himself is samsari, then if he is not free from samsara, what to talk about you and me, right? So we have to very clearly see Bhagavan's janma and karma as divyam. It is alaukikam. It is not bound by avidya, kama and karma. Then what happens? You also, the clarity comes to about your nature also. because you're also in reality free from birth. That I didn't say. Bhagavan has told in the second chapter onwards, he has been telling. And then the sambandha, sambandha with the bandha will be released. And see, you are taking birth again and again is not a problem. But your sambandha, your connection, I am now an insect, oh my God, whatnot. And myself now a certain prani, myself now a human being who is only having so much, myself now a human being born here, not there. In all these different janmas, this sambandha is the problem. That sambandha with the janma, which is not vastavika. The sambandha is the sambandha of a snake with the rope. What is the reality of the sambandha? The sambandha is not vastavika. It is mayik. The sambandha is because of avidya, right? So sambandha, once it is not there, then why should we worry about what is that rope going to look like in future, right? So that bandha with the sambandha is what is the problem. It is janma karma itself is not the problem. All right. So it's very important, and it's very, in life also we do this, right? If you understand the background of someone, then we know where he's coming from, and then we are at peace with that person, right? So Swamiji also says, we should have a two-step approach when we want to react emotionally. If we just put ourselves in the other person's shoes or look at his background, then we know, okay, this is where he's coming from. I see, okay. Now I see the mistake, where the mistake is coming from, and they can even address that, or you can withdraw yourself from that problem if you cannot correct the mistake of someone else, and you yourself will be more conscious. You are free from performing the same, getting into the same trouble. Why? Because you understood where the problem is coming from when it is the other person, right? So likewise, you see one thing clearly for someone else, then that clarity also comes about yourself to yourself. So having said that, now let us do one more shloka. Now look at this. What did Bhagavan say in the previous shloka? Bhagavan has told that one who knows me like this, my janma and karma is divyam, is special, then he won't get to have any punarjanma. He is a mukta purusha. Mameti, he comes, he obtains me, he gains me. Now you tell me, this kind of a gaining, this kind of a moksha, have you heard this before? In Gita itself, you haven't heard this before. Because in the Gita, we have been pounding upon you that it is a jnana marga. It is moksha is about jnanam, and jnanam is about shravana, manana, nididhyasanam, and karma yoga is an upaya. Karma yoga is preparation, is preparing your mind, and then you pursue the knowledge with a prepared mind, and you gain moksha, right? This is what we have been telling all through. This is what Bhagavan has told in the previous shloka. You know my janma, my karma to be divyam, then you get moksha. That is brand new information for us, right? So is it really brand new? And because then it looks like then this whole Gita book becomes a book of information where you can refer whenever you are interested in a certain thing, and you go and refer and you get something. So it becomes more like an encyclopedia reference. No, Gita is a shastra. It is not a dictionary where you can, it is not about dictionary. It's not about a reference book. It is a shastra where there's beautiful connection and the logical reasoning and connection, and Bhagavan does it. And if we cannot see, then we can see, we can make see ourselves that with the help of all the acharyas like Shankaracharya Maharaj, all his disciples, and our own Swamijis, right? So what is the connection? Then is it something new Bhagavan has told? This moksha which has been told in the previous verse, just by knowing Bhagavan's janma and karma, is that a new information? Is there any connection? Because Bhagavan has told what? He has told, this is what I've been telling from the beginning of the creation, right? From Surya Bhagavan onwards, I've been telling this. So we should see the connection of what moksha told in the previous shloka with what has transpired so far, right? So for this, the next shloka. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha Manmaya mamupashitaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhava magataha vita raga bhaya krodhaha. So now you see all the familiar words here. Raga word is very familiar, likes, binding, desires. We have been using this word so well. So now whatever is brand new is said, we're making connection with what has been already told, right? That is the shloka. And bhaya, fear, krodhaha, all these are very familiar to us. Krodha is anger, they're very familiar. And vita, raga, bhaya, krodhaha. So this is the preparation. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodhaha. Vigataha. So raga, bhaya, and krodha, for who one it is not there. For one who has grown over, one who is matured enough, so is free from the shackles of binding desires, only pleasing desires, and who feels bound, who feels restricted, who feels limited by displeasing desires, displeasing people around him, and all that, right? So that kind of from that kind of a raga dvesha, vita, who's free, and not only vita, from that bhaya, vita is is released, is free from vigataha. Then bhaya, from fear, and from fear of insecurity and whatnot, based on your likes and dislikes. If it's based on some real knowledge regarding going to a place, it's going to be harmful to you, that is different. Just based on our own limited knowledge, our own strong sense of what I like and what I dislike, and that kind of fear based on that, and anger based on unfulfilled desires, or based on desires which get fulfilled, which raises the bar of your fulfillment, which raises the bar of your happiness. And so the bar of happiness is so high, and then anything below that gives some krodha, gives some dissatisfaction, right? Gives some upsets, anger. So that is one who is free from all that. And one who is manmaya. Manmaya is what? Manmayam. Tanmayam we say, right? Tanmaya ho gaya. He has become when the music is so engrossed in the music so much, he has become one with it. That is mayam, manmayam. So one, becoming one. Here manmayam is becoming one with Bhagavan. How can you become one with Bhagavan in terms of your rupam? Can you get 4 hands instead of 2 hands? Huh? No, that is not going to happen. So not in terms of rupam. So here it is not in terms of rupam, it is in terms of swarupam. See, very simple. I'm giving you all simple keywords. Instead of rupam, you make it swarupam. That is the manmayam. And in that way, we are seeing the oneness. And mamupashritaha, and who has taken refuge in me, in the sense, in the sense, this kind of a swarupam. Once you have this swarupa jnanam, then the manmayatvam is there, right? Manmayatvam, the swarupatvam, swarupa jnanatvam is there. And and that swarupam, taking refuge of that swarupam. Once you know it is rope, taking refuge of the fact that it is rope, and dismissing snake and a streak of water and a stick and whatnot, right? Just refuge. So take the refuge of rope, then you can negate everything else. That kind of us taking refuge, Mahamupashita, taking refuge of the reality of Bhagavan. Mahamupashita, and then Bahavo Jnana Tapasa. So this man, this person, these people who are purified, putaha, by what? Bahavo Jnana Tapasa, by tapascharya, austerity, penance. What penance? Jnana Tapasa, Jnanameva, Jnana hi tap hai. Jnana is tapa. This going after this knowledge, seeking this knowledge, increasing your clarity. It's a growing clarity. I've grown so much in my clarity, and so seeking that clarity. That clarity itself is tapa. One is only focused on this clarity. That is tapa. Then was purified in that way. In the sense, his mind is so prepared, is so pakwata, so much maturity. those people, madbhavam agataha, and they gain my bhava, right? What is my bhava? They again, the my bhava is nothing but manmaya. The manmayatvam is there, but here madbhava is slightly different. It says they come back to my nature. It says in the translation, but here it means they know the nishtha is there. Manmayatvam is that jnanam, and madbhavatam is that nishtha, the steadfastness in their swarupa jnanam. Forever that jnanam is going to remain. Once you know its rope, forever that knowledge is going to help you to not worry about the fear, not cow down to the fear of snake or whatnot, right? So that kind of a steadfastness is there. That is madbhavam agataha, established in the steadfastness. Okay. So let us see the translation here quickly. Free, what is that? Free from craving, fear and anger, totally resolved in me, taking refuge in me, purified by the discipline of knowledge. Many have come back to my nature. Many have, agataha is past tense, so many have come back to my nature, right? So that is what is given here. And quickly, our Shankara Bhashya, it says there, this manmaya word is there, right? So manmaya word is, because it's manmaya and madbhava, my bhava and my tanmaya, manmayam, right? These two words are very similar. So it looks like as if one stand in the first line there's manmaya, and in the second sentence the same manmaya is told as madbhava. And there's a punarukti dosha, there's a repetition, and this repetition has to be justified. So here the repetition is what? Here the punarukti is, they have different meaning. Although they sound similar, although the words are, they can be synonyms, but here manmaya is brahmavit. The mayatvam, the mayatvam is in terms of knowing your swarupa. Your rupa you know, but you are knowing your swarupa. That is manmaya. Brahmavidaha. Brahmaiva bhavati, right? When it comes to your swarupa, which is always there, which has been ever with you, there's no gaining there. Knowing is gaining. Knowing is gaining. For something you don't have, you have to go and gain. You have to know and gain. When something you already have, then knowing you are is gaining that. So that is what Brahmavit. Vit means knowing. Brahmaiva bhavati is gained, is obtained himself as Brahma. Then this Brahma this manmayatvam, can it exclude Ishvara? I know myself, and then there is Ishvara separately. No, it has to include the Atmatvena. Atmatvena, you have to see that Ishvara is non-separate from me in terms of Atma. So it includes Ishvara. And so that is the kind of, then once that is there, Atmatvena, when you have Ishvara prapti bhavam, Ishvara abheda bhavam, Atmatvena, and then what happens then? Parameshwaram upashata. See, spark is also fire. And what you see, which is cooking, in terms of huge, in the restaurant there are huge gas stoves. That is also fire. Spark you use to the lighter fire you need to get the big fire. So in terms of fire, they're same. In terms of their capacity to burn down and all that, they're different. But as a fire, they're same, right? So that kind of a atma bhava you have towards Ishvara, then upashita, then you will be then Parameshwaram upashitaha. Parameshwaram upashita means he's taken refuge. Taken refuge means what? The nishtha is established in that knowledge. That is a upashita. Bahava aneka jnana tapasa. So this here you see the word jnana tapasa is there, right? Tapasa, if you had given without jnana, Bhagavan, if you had given, then tapas is very, it can be taken for anything. Veda dhyanam can be taken as a tapascharya. And then mano nigraham Dhyanam can be taken as a tapasya, right? And upavasam can be taken as tapasya. So Bhagavan wants to clarify it is jnana tapasa. Here, what matters is jnanameva tapasya. You have to just gain the knowledge, that is the tapasya. It's not about doing a new karma. It's not about doing a certain type of meditation, new type of meditation, no shortcuts. Just jnana is a tapasa. That is why the word jnana tapasa is emphasized just for the sake of emphasize, right? So with this, I think we should conclude today's session, because we have our Bhagavatam coming up really quickly in 5 minutes. Many of you who are here with me, I wish you all, I know many of you come to the Bhagavatam also. So we'll see you there in person. And I thank you all for another session of this Gita. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.